As a managing director, if you want to build a really big organization or business within the direct sales industry, a really, really smart thing to do is to become an expert at personal recruiting, at knowing how to drive it, knowing how to manage it, knowing how to promote it, and allowing it and encouraging it throughout your business. Because what you end up doing is that you end up replacing yourself with an absolutely limitless number of recruiters within your business, so that it's not just yourself as the leader of your business, your office, your organization, but you're actually encouraging so many people within your business to grow their business, which ultimately expands the size of the organization. So you're in a strange way, which in a really exciting way, you're recruiting recruiters. You're recruiting salespeople who are also recruiters. So it really is a smart way to build your organization: quick, fast, strong, independent, and then they're self-growing, which is fantastic. So there's a couple of critical things that we know from learning from the high rollers around the world, that how you should look at recruiting, how you should promote it, and how you should develop it. The first thing is how you talk about it. Traditionally, when we speak to anyone that we meet within the industry, we go, hey, how are you doing? What level are you on? How many guys do you have on your team, or how many guys do you work with? The problem with that, it's all great, and of course, you know, they would have different sizes of teams, but when it comes to recruiting, if you change the way that you look at it and the way that you talk about it, you encourage not just strong salespeople that you've always had, but strong salespeople who are also great at recruiting. So rather than going, how big is your crew and how many people do you have who are PRs, start talking about what percentage of your business are PRs. And that's the KPI, that's the critical KPI. So let me give you an example. You have Peter and you have Paul. So Peter works with 10 people, Paul works with 15. Peter has PR'd 7 people out of the 10 people that he works with. Paul has PR'd 3 people out of the 15 people that he works with. So when it comes to sales, and imagining that both crews are good at sales, and obviously as a managing director of a business, in order to keep sales strong, you have your minimum sales criteria for your leaders. So that allows you to promote PRing and not lose sales. So imagining that both teams of people have got a good minimum sales criteria. So Peter's crew has got 15 people on it. So you would think that obviously, of course, they're initially right now more profitable, they're a bigger crew. However, there's more people recruiting in Paul's team, if you like, than there is in Peter's. So 80% or 70% of Paul's team are recruiting, not just Paul. Only 20% of Peter's team are recruiting along with Peter. So if you give that enough time, and assuming that they are all continuously recruiting, then what's happening is that Paul is going to eventually develop and expand a faster, bigger organization than Peter, taking nothing away from how good Peter is, but there's a much higher percentage of Paul's business that is independently recruiting and is therefore going to duplicate and replicate itself than there is in Peter's. So it's a really smart way of going, if you're good at sales, that's great. How good are you at recruiting? And how you develop that mentality is what percentage of your business are PRs. So that's the first thing that as a managing director you should always be looking at and always be talking about. The second thing is that when we recruit following the traditional form of recruiting, which is placing adverts and having people coming in for appointments, and obviously with personal recruiting you'll still have people coming in that you're speaking to as the managing director in first and second appointments. Why not start talking about it from day one? Traditionally what we've done is we've almost created the problem where we have not allowed people to personal recruit, or not having people thinking about personal recruiting. Because when we explain how someone can totally avail of the opportunity in our business, we explain to them become really good at sales. And as you become consistently really good at sales, what's going to happen is that we are going to actually be recruiting people ourselves as the managing director of the company. And if you show us all the ethics that we would expect of a future partner, what we're going to do is to allow you to get involved in coaching those people in sales and ultimately developing your own team of people. But if you think about it, what we're actually doing is saying to people, wait, and we'll provide you with people that you can coach in sales. And it's almost like, well, hold on for us. You wait for the speed at which we're going to provide you with people. But actually, if you twist it on itself, and from the very start of recruitment going, hey, this is a business, here's how it works. You can build your own business starting as an independent sales representative. And how fast you build that business is down to you, because it depends on how many people that you would like to actually go and talent scout yourself. You don't have to wait for me. You don't have to wait for anyone. Go and find the right people for you. And what you'll then start happening is in your company as a managing director is you'll start seeing people at earlier stages going, hey, can I bring along a friend? Can I introduce someone? And what you'll find when it's working really effectively is you'll have people even at stage 1 or 2 who are starting bringing people with them and introducing people with them. And now you've developed a really good culture starting right from day 1. And what you're doing is you're opening the doors to limitless recruiting, because people are going, I can bring anyone I want. This is fantastic. So that's a really good way of looking at it. And otherwise you're creating this funnel where you're like, you wait for me as the managing director with my recruiter to provide you recruiting, and it depends on the speed that I'm bringing those people in and receiving CVs. And of course it's a competitive market. The more competitors, then you might receive less CVs. Going this way where you're promoting personal recruiting, you're doing the opposite. You're going, hey, you can bring in as many people as you want. And it's a really smart way of doing it. When you PR in your office, make sure that you incentivize people. It's really important. So here's how you want to look at it, is we have a sales business and we pay sales representatives for every new donor or customer that they bring in towards the client that we would represent. So if we're just paying for sales, people will just do sales. If we pay for someone to recruit, they will recruit. So why not do both? So really this is a second income stream for sales representatives, where if they both do sales and recruit, they can earn 2 different income streams as a person, which is fantastic. So in your office, to have strong sales criteria, you will always have a minimum level for your leaders to hit. And that level is what you expect them to be a good salesperson. So before they start coaching anyone else how to be good at sales, they have to prove that they can consistently do it themselves. If you maintain that minimum level for a salesperson, you can then start also focusing on recruitment. So you can incentivize. So for example, if I'm turning around to Peter and going, for every sale, for example, that you do, there is 40 euros worth. However, when you PR someone, and you can have it tiered or you can have it all based on someone who either is vetted and actually becomes a sales representative, or indeed progresses through to stage 3 or whatever stage you determine, then you can also offer an incentive for this. But make sure that it's worth their while. So what you do is, if it's 40 euros for a sale and you offer 30, 40 euros for recruiting, because you're keeping them a minimum level criteria for sales, you're not going to lose that, but you're also making it worth their while to recruit. And it's a really good way of focusing on both and allowing people to go, I can actually build my own business and get paid for it. This is fantastic. It's worth my while to do both. Otherwise, if you don't incentive for recruiting and you only pay for sales, someone naturally will go, I'll just focus on sales. All right. The other thing as a managing director is you want to be setting the pace for yourself. We are a performance-related industry, so why not go out and show your people how to recruit? Just because you're the managing director of the company doesn't mean that you just want to stop developing first-generation people yourself. So go and PR, go and show people how to do it. Talk about it, promote it, recognize it. Every single day we call out who are the best salespeople in our business. We give recognition for who has done fantastic the day before in sales. Make sure that you're doing it for recruiting. If you want recruiting to develop and to build and the culture to become stronger in your office, you need to be talking about it all of the time. So make sure that you're tracking it, that you're all in alignment, your company, your recruiter, your staff, yourself. You're making sure that you're knowing who's recruiting and you're giving them the recognition. You're making sure that they are getting the incentives that they've worked towards, And when you're giving the recognition to the right people, you're going to develop the right culture. Okay? The other thing is that if you're promoting personal recruiting, it will develop. So with salespeople who want to actually build a business and become a managing director themselves, they want what you're doing. So the more that you talk about it, the more that they're going to do it. It is such a smart thing to do. When you get people in your office, no matter from the first day, their first month, their first 6 months, their first year, if they're actually thinking about how can I build my business, and a smart person in the business development program in the initial appointment process, already because of the fact that they're a smart person, they're thinking business development program. I want to develop a career. I want to get something out of this. That smart person, educate them from day one. Personal recruit, get good at sales, it'll bring in the income. Get good at recruiting, you increase that income because you increase the people you're working with. If you can do that well, you're promoting it, you're developing it, you will get to a stage. We know from the high rollers around the world that if you get to a 40% minimum level of personal recruiting within your company, so a minimum level of your business, 40% are personal recruits. The exciting news is that now this culture is actually self-generating. Even if you stop promoting it as much, more than likely it is going to keep increasing because people see success all around them. However, why would you stop when it's so successful? Keep going. It is so worth it. It will honestly double, treble the size of your business beyond your wildest dreams. It's worth becoming an expert at it because it'll help you get where you want to go. Enjoy.